wrote down when I was watching the game, and I made sure I checked it again. I wrote down all of the petulance from Spurs, right? So when Romero's head goes, so when the red card happens and you guys lose your heads, here's what happens after that. So the Simons red, right?
Hang on, you went to the pub writing this down?
Yes. So I was in the pub watching this. We weren't together. We were in the pub. So Simons gets sent off. That's a red card, right? I wouldn't even call it petulant. It's just it's a stupid red, but it is serious foul play, so it's a red. The next thing that happens is Van der Ven wipes out and breaks Isak's leg, right? He didn't have an accident and upset Isak. He scissored him, like when Pickford scissored Van Dijk and Van Dijk was out for 8 months. That's what Van der Ven has done to Isak. And now reports today are that Isak is now out for several months because he's broken his leg.
Why have you got so angry?
Because I'm telling you about how I thought Spurs lost this game. And you're not the first Spurs fan to tell me this over the last couple of days, is, oh, well, we got unlucky because Ekitike was a foul on Romero. Well, actually, there's quite a lot of other things that made you lose this game. Van der Ven breaking Isak's leg, right? So
that doesn't make us lose this game.
I'm just saying it's part of the petulance. And what I'm saying is the petulance and the lack of emotional control cost you this game. And that was part of it. So Van der Ven goes diving in on Isak. If Isak doesn't score, it's a red and a penalty. Has to be a red for Van der Ven. That it's a shocking tackle. Then Richarlison, when he scores the goal, notice if you haven't seen this, go and look at the replay. He goes over to Ekitike and he pushes Ekitike's head into the floor.
When it held him
Cheers, Richarlison. So that's yellow. If not, I don't know why VAR are not looking at that. For me, that is endangering an opponent because he's pushing his head into the floor. You've seen reds given for less, so potentially that's a red for Richarlison. After that, somebody, I can't remember who, elbows Frimpong in the mouth. And Frimpong's walking around with a bloody mouth, right? The ref, who had lost control of the game by this stage, is allowing Spurs and Liverpool to continue to play on.
Have you seen the replay?
Okay,
it's
but he's
not
got
an elbow. He actually goes into his arm. Frimpong puts his mouth into him.
Frimpong's mouth.
And then Frimpong sits on the floor.
He headbutted the player's elbow.
He's got a tiny cut
got it.
on the inside of his lip. And it's like he's been... Honestly, I thought that Frimpong had been in World War II the way he reacted.
Right, so Frimpong's got a bloody mouth, but it's his fault for mouthing onto the guy's elbow.
Yeah.
Then Romero kicks out a Kanate, second yellow, that's a red. And then right at the end, Bentancur, the cheapest shot I've ever seen on Kirkis. Like, Kirkis is going down the wing, and he just not even thinking about getting the ball and just completely wipes him out at neck height.
Okay.
Which is like, I think that's serious foul play and potentially a red. So I'm saying Simons a red. Van der Ven, if Isak doesn't score, is a red. Richarlison endangering Ekitike by pushing his head into the floor. That's a red. The Frimpong one I'll allow. Romero gets a red.